Hello everyone, Josh here with X's bringing y'all another Out of Plane video. But before we get into today's video, let's talk a little bit about our second channel, X's Media. Definitely go check that out. It will be in the description below as well as the pinned comment below, because what we're doing over there is covering lots and lots of gacha related news, game content, all that good stuff and more. One, it of course pertains to gacha. So if you are a big gacha gamer, a gacha fan, you want to see all your latest news, game reviews, first impressions, guides, you want to see, what games are coming out, what games are on pre-registration, all that good stuff and more, definitely go ahead and check out our second channel, X's Media, below. So with that said, you'll see that I am currently in a PvP fight. Now, the reason why we're starting here in a PvP fight is after I do this fight, I want to talk a little bit about the state of Arena and how that's going to lead into a lot of other things, a lot of other topics in today's video. I do apologize in advance. We will be jumping around from topic to topic because there's a lot of stuff that I want to cover in today's video, but the overall message, whatever word that is, overall message that I'm trying to send here is that the game is definitely starting to make a few mistakes, and they're starting to kind of add up a little bit. They're starting to stack up, if you will, and it's starting to create kind of a negative atmosphere, a negative environment here in the game. I don't want to say toxic, but it's definitely getting there. If you go to, Reddit, or if you go to some of the other content creators' comment sections, including the ones here at Exis, and if you even go to the official Discord, you're definitely starting to see a lot of people are becoming increasingly concerned, because there's definitely a lot of negativity starting to creep up into the game because of some of these decisions that they started to make here recently. And we're going to go over a lot of them, but let's first start with Arena. Let's go ahead and finish this fight real quick. Give you guys a little glimpse into my team that I have here for Arena on offense. So let's go ahead and try and take out this Mine. She's obviously going to be the biggest problem. Okay, we did not get our exclusive equipment to trigger like it ever does for me in Arena for some reason. Sometimes I question why I even got that exclusive equipment. I know it's 30% chance, but it just does not seem to go off very often. Okay, we were not able to take out the Mine, and of course Leo is now triggered, so we're in a dogfight now. And you guys and gals are really starting to see exactly why Arena is in the state that it is. Now, we're against people that I think are somewhere like in the top 100, somewhere give or take, because a lot of people just are not playing much Arena right now, and we are going to talk a little bit more about why that is. Let's check our priority list real quick. So, okay, so we should get to go again, but it's not really matter. You know what? I think I'm just gonna just sack off this turn. I'm just not gonna do anything, because even if I would have priority pushed my my Rain, it wouldn't matter. Can't do any damage yet anyways. So we already know what's gonna happen. We might as well let it happen. Now Mine and Tio can be hit here, and we will hit them. We're gonna go ahead and kill the Tio. Oh, of course. Now it wants to trigger when I don't even need it. Of course. All right, let's attack the Mine now. Okay, Mine is coming back to life, of course, with the revival. You have to love it. You have to love it. Okay, maybe you don't have to, but my goodness. And so we just got hit with the lightning. You can see here the lightning is going to trigger again soon. It's going to be dealing 15% this time, and it keeps going up and up and up. So if you get into a long dragged out fight now, you will die eventually if you can't kill the other team, because that thing will get to the point where it's just going to start one-shotting you, no matter how strong your units are and how much HP you have. Even if you have shields or anything like that, or any kind of other damage mitigation, it's not going to matter. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to just go ahead and heal everybody up. I'm still not going to use my push here. Usually, I'll use that push if I'm able to kind of set up for the cleave, back-to-back AoEs right at the beginning. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen very often now. So we just kind of have to deal with it. We're just going to go ahead and keep attacking that Mine. We cannot get that to trigger on Mine. Why? Why, game? Alright. Going to go ahead and burst here. Did pretty decent damage there. We were able to finally take out that Leo in Mine. That's fine. We're going to go ahead now and just priority push Rin, bring her up, and then take out that freaking Stella and end this nonsense. Not everybody has a team on offense, though, that is able to kind of do all these things that I'm doing right now. So you got to be very wary of that. Okay, done. But what you just saw, ladies and gentlemen, is a very good example as to why a lot of people are just no longer interested in playing Arena. Okay? I myself do not push arena very often. I play a little bit. I probably try to get to like Diamond 1, maybe Master 3 some weeks when I really feel like it, and that's about as far as I'll push. But I'm definitely starting to notice that a lot more people are just not playing PvP at all. Now, I've seen some discussions where people are talking about how there is hacking going on. Some players are using mods, especially up there in like the top 10 rankings, so they're just beating people up repeatedly, very easily, within seconds because their team is modded. That is definitely a concern, but that concern is not going to be completely, trickled all the way down throughout all of the players that are playing Arena. Not everybody's experiencing those modders, those hackers. So why are those people not wanting to really play in PvP? Now, there's a few things. So let's go to the rankings real quick. You'll see that I'm ranked 107. I'm almost top 100 in the entire game, and I barely play Arena at all right now at this point. Matter of fact, let's see how many people are even in Master. We have 6 people in the entire game. Now, granted, Arena just did reset Sunday evening if you do live in America. Or I guess you could say North America. But it's been like, 3 days now at this point? We had Sunday night. We had Monday. Now we're getting into Tuesday night. And there's only 6 people in the entire game in Arena. The entire global version of this game, and there's only 6 of them. I don't even think we even had 30 people last PvP reset that just happened recently in Master. That is not good. That means that you could not get, more than 30 players in the entire game to hit around 1,500 points. That's not good. Because before, 1,500 points was barely enough to get you even top 100. Now you're talking top 1,500 can get you top 30, top 20. That's insane. The fact that you can be literally in Diamond 3 and nearly top 100 is also insane. Because that's literally one rank above Platinum 1. And Platinum 1 should be like bare minimum for a lot of players out there. Like bare minimum. You're talking players that's only been playing for like 2 weeks, right? Free to play. That's crazy. So my question is why are all these players just done playing PvP? And the reason why I think it is it's a combination of a few things. Obviously, you have the hackers and the modders out there, messing with the top 1% of players. The real tryhards are very, irritated with it. Okay. But they're still playing Arena. They're not stopping Arena. They're just getting annoyed with the hackers. But what about the players that are actually just saying, I'm tapping out, I'm done with Arena? Well, if we go in here to the shop, you'll notice here the shop, by the way, don't buy this gear. I don't recommend it. I buy it because I'm going to use it as like a sub DPS gear, or I guess you could say a alternate DPS gear for another one of my units, just for the sole fact that it's 6-star, but it has blue 6-star or less main stats. And what I mean by that is if you look up here, this percentage is actually going to be equal to around a blue 6-star or lower. And on the ones like, let me see this one here. It will actually show me. It won't let me show you. But the ones that actually have dual, 2 main stat percentages, they're actually overall less than a blue 6-star piece. So, and they also have very low rolls on them to start with as well. So these are not very good pieces of gear like I originally thought when I went back and looked through it and we talked it over and we started comparing to other gear. These are 4 pretty mediocre pieces of gear. Like I said, I'll use them as an alternative set of gear for one of my units in PvE for now. But I don't honestly recommend getting these. These are not very good at all. And we got these, Frame of Honor, the Refined Glutenite, the other Glutenite. I mean, these are okay, I guess. But maybe not for the price they're asking. But that's mostly for the league, right? But in just general, this is kind of what you're really looking at on a week-to-week basis. Outside of the skill books and the daily stamina, there's really nothing else in the weekly shop to kind of really care about or work towards. By the end of the week, I'm probably going to have over 2,000 medals like I always do. I'm going to go in here on Mondays or Sunday nights, and I'm going to buy up all the skill books like I always do, and then I'm going to buy my daily stamina. That's it, right? You can buy the AP sets of gear if you want to, convert them, to get yourself some of those crystals, or catalysts rather, the red catalyst. That's fine. But even then, you're just not really, there's nothing to give me incentive to come in every single day and play Arena. What is my incentive to come in here and play 12, 15, 20 fights a day? What is the incentive? You'd think that it'd be the gems, but what's the point? Because if the higher up I climb, the more attacks people are going to, give me. And if your defensive team isn't stacked, they're just going to keep beating you up. You're going to be losing points. So all you're doing is basically just going in to win back the points that you lost, right? Unless you invest into more offensive tries. You could do that, but then that's just you trying to be a competitive player and not really thinking logically or efficiency with your resources if you're a free-to-play or a casual spender. A whale has the luxury of doing that. Everyone else, not so much. So is it really worth doing that? Are the rewards in the shop worth spending your additional premium resources? Probably not. Because like I said, this is it. This is all we have to look forward to in the weekly shop. It's not that great. You want to encourage me to play more arena and try harder? Then you got to put better rewards in the shop. Or add more rewards in the shop. Add more skill books. Add, more stamina. Add more gold. Something. Make these 4-star APs 5-star, 6-star. Whatever you got to do to improve it, it needs to be done. Okay? So that's one big issue that I'm seeing a lot of people in Arena are probably just like, I just don't really care. The rewards aren't really all that worth it after the initial stuff that you get. Another big thing is the new league system for 12 freaking weeks, 3 months that we have to deal with. If you hit Diamond 3 or higher, you will be facing players that have units that are getting 30% additional max HP to all their units, including your own, but it makes the defensive teams that are now in a stall meta even more difficult to kill, which means you're going to be getting into fights like you just saw me have, where it's not always going to be a quick 1-2 cleave and you're done. And a lot of people are looking around like, man, I hope I see a team that has a Valentine on defense, because then you just run your Demiurge Stella and your TO, and the fight's pretty simple. But as you notice, a lot of people are no longer using those Valentines on their defensive team anymore. She's pretty much just null and void at this point. You might see a few randoms that pop up here and there, but for the most part, they're gone. Okay? So the fights are now getting into dog fights, right? You might get lucky and find a team that you can easily cleave, but a lot of them you can't. So you're going to have to get into a real strategic battle of multiple turns. You're going to have to deal with the lightning. Defensive teams do not have to deal with lightning, which I always have hated that in PvP games, or PvP modes of any game. Why are defenses not getting hit with lightning as well? That's stupid, but whatever. But you add on that into 30% additional max HP, and then it's a recipe for I don't give a damn. I just don't want to do it. It's just too much work for too little reward, and it's just a lot of stress. So that's probably another reason why a lot of people recently have just said, you know what, I just don't want to play Arena anymore. We thought the speed meta was bad, but the anti-debuff stall meta is even worse. Especially with the buff. Now, the next buff that we get after that for the next Arena League season, maybe it'll be better. Maybe it'll be like attack up 30%. But what if it's defense up 30%? What if it's evasion up 30%, for crying out loud? Like, holy crap. That would be pure chaos. Evasion is already one of the most oppressive stats in the game. Giving them 30% increase on that would be insane. What if it's a 30% increase to speed? And then we just get back to the normal speed meta. You would think that would be the case, but you know what? Some of these stall teams would love that too. So I still don't think those are really going to be changing anything. I think we just really need to sit down. The developers need to really sit down and kind of look at Arena right now and just say, okay, this is a bot arena. This isn't even real-time arena. This isn't Guild Wars. This is just a bot arena. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's a bot arena. We fight bots of other people's teams. That's all we do. How can we improve on it? How can we better balance it? And that's what they really need to do. I don't have all the answers. Obviously, I wish I did, but I don't. I do not have all the answers on how to fix Arena and to revitalize it and make it more entertaining and more enjoyable for all players involved. Maybe add more modes. Add more rankings to kind of separate some players away from others to make it a little bit more balanced in matchmaking. Maybe make the refresh down here, instead of being 50 gems, make it like 10 gems or 5 gems, or make it start at 5 and just slowly work its way up until a certain timer goes through, like the hour timer here. Something like that to, try and allow us to have better matchmaking. Allow us to be able to go in and find certain matchups that we could get through quicker. Maybe that'll encourage people to play a little bit more. Maybe not give those oppressive buffs, like 30% max HP is a little insane. Maybe not do that, right? Maybe just not give us those additional buffs, because honestly, Arena League is just the same arena that you just slapped a new title on and gave us some new stuff in a shop. That's going to take a lot of players several weeks to get. So it's not like you really created a whole new arena. It's the same arena. You're still fighting the same people in the same way. It's just, you just made the defensive teams more oppressive. That's all you've accomplished with it. So maybe we need to do a better job of that. You know, maybe make a replay function as well. I was talking about this in the official Discord. If we have a replay button, like if you go into your battle record's like, oh my god, I got defeated by somebody. Let me go to somebody who actually beat me, right? Like right here. Give me a replay button so I can go in and actually see how the fight played out. So then if it was a hacker or a modder, I'll see it and then I can send it over to the dev team or the support team and they can look at it, review it, and then ban the person who did it. And then give me back my points that they took away. I'm not saying it's that simple. It could be that simple, or at least simpler than it is now, but something like that could also improve the overall scope of Arena. I think another thing that they could add, obviously, is more stuff here in the shop, because as I said, the shop is kind of just not very good. It's not rewarding. It doesn't give me enough incentive to want to play. So that's pretty much my thoughts right now on Arena overall. But now let's move on to stuff that's, you know, what I like to consider artificial difficulty. All right, here we go. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the new 3-star clear requirements for armor, weapon, and accessories. So they just released the ones for weapon and accessories. You can see here, I haven't went through and did them all yet. I just don't see the point right now. Because then I have to swap gear around, and without the gear presets, I am trying to not have to swap gear as much as possible because it's very annoying. We already made a video talking about that, so I'm not going to go more into it. But that's definitely one big thing that needs to be, you know, sorted out. That would probably also help with defense of teams and offensive teams and PvP as well, is the gear swapping. Maybe add a feature to lock in your actual stats until you update it manually and then update it manually. Like, it should be able to just lock in whatever gear you have for Arena offense and defense. That way, you don't got to worry about swapping your gear around for other content because you have it locked in. That, to me, seems like a very good idea. But you can let me know in the comment section below if you agree with that or not, or if you have a different suggestion. But back to this. So, if we come in here like Glycia, for example, right? Now, they have like stage 11s and stage 12. You got a 3-star clear them. But to 3-star clear them, they have certain requirements now. Clear for the first time. Pretty simple. Clear without any deaths. That could be simple depending on what your team setup is. But clear within 30 turns. Now that's where a lot of people are struggling. Okay? And the dumb thing was before, the way we had it before is if you come in here to stage 10, there was no 3-star clears. You just cleared the stage one time and you moved on. It didn't matter if a unit died or not. The only thing that you were worried about was clearing the stage and being done with it. But on stage 10, that's where a lot of people try to get to because of course, this is going to be guaranteed 6-star gear drops. That's what everybody wants, right? I mean, 9 is okay. You get 5 to 6-star, but you were still dropping a lot of 5s, and really you wanted to just get 6. So your main goal was to be able to do stage 10 one time, because after you cleared it one time, you could then use your sweep tickets from there on out. If you could not auto it or auto it in a manageable amount of time, because nobody wants to have their phones, because again, this is a mobile phone. I play on an emulator, I understand. But this is, you know, natively, this is on a mobile device. And I have to think from a mobile player's perspective here. There is no PC option at the moment, unless you use the Google Play Games beta, if you want to count that outside of emulators. But if you are a mobile user and you're playing this mobile game, you would have to have your phone be left on for quite a period of time if your auto teams were not going very quickly. Like if you're taking 15, 20, 30 minutes for an auto run, which would really suck. But if that's how long it took, that's how long it took. And you'd have to let that play over and over and over and over. So your phone would have to be plugged in, or you'd have to be, you know, paying attention to your phone's battery so it doesn't shut off. And, you know, any runs that you're expecting to come back to were no longer being done because your phone died or whatever. So there's definitely was a lot of concerns with that. So the sweep tickets made it a lot easier. You just cleared it one time, popped a sweep ticket, got the run done instantly, got the XP for it, got the gold for it, got your gear, moved on, and you were ready to go do other stuff. That was fine. You know, maybe we could have expanded on that, made that system a little bit better, but it worked out. You know, you had your stamina, you had your sweep ticket, easy peasy. But then they made it to where they had the 3-star clear requirement to then be able to do that. So now players who may have been able to do stage 10 once, but had a unit die, now they can no longer use a sweep ticket. So you've just now created artificial difficulty because they can technically beat it, but now you made it harder for no reason. You made it more difficult for them to be able to go back in and do it repeatedly. Now this is repeatable content. This is content that they want you to do over and over and over and over and over for all of eternity. This is not content that you beat once and you never have to come back to it. This is not content that you only have to do a few times and never have to touch it again. No, this is content that you have to do every single day forever of the existence, the lifespan of this game. Okay? So for them to add an artificial difficulty by, putting 3-star clears on something that didn't have it before was absurd. And that was a big red flag for me. I'm like, why are you doing that? That's something that IMR would pull. And IMR tried to do a lot of this artificial difficulty crap, and to where like only the top 1%, 2% of players were able to do all this new content. And what they did is they shot themselves in the foot, and now that game is literally on life support. Most of the content creators, including myself, have abandoned the game at this point, and the ones that are left are actually starting to move on to other content from what I see. So that game is near its end already in the first year because they kept trying to create artificial difficulty. And that is what we're having here. There was no need to add 3-star clears to this content. And even if you did, you didn't have to make it so oppressive for stage 11s and 12s by adding a turn restriction on it with, stage 11 needing, I think it was like 25 turns, and then stage 12 needing 30 turns. I just don't think that was absolutely necessary. And not only did they do that, they decided to go a step further. Now, if you want to do 11 and 12, you got to get a whole new farmable currency, which will give you another powerful crafting material. But now you're going to have to do that thousands of times. Because you're going to, not thousands of times, you're going to need thousands of stamina to be able to craft those materials. So that is a huge WTF. Okay, so now you want me to sink even more time and energy into a mode that you're now punishing me for by making it more difficult than it was before for literally no reason, but to try and slow me down. These are things that should have been planned out in advance several months ago before we went global, because now a lot of players had 2 months into the game on global, playing the game a certain way, and you decided to pull the rug from underneath them. For no reason, except for you trying to tell me that I'm playing the game too well and you want me to be crippled. I don't understand it. That's not good. When you start punishing players, that's when players say goodbye, see ya, adios, au revoir, and they're going to go find a new game, and they're going to play that game and spend money and time into that game and not yours. And I've seen this happen from time to time to time and time again, that you think these companies would learn from this. And now this isn't, I'm not trying to make this a rant video. I'm just trying to make this more of a discussion video and really kind of cover my opinion on several topics that are definitely important right now to a lot of players and a lot of questions that people are asking. I'm trying to answer them as best I can, but I don't have all the answers. And the company that makes the game, they do. They understand why they're doing what they're doing, and hopefully they can be a little bit more transparent with those answers in the near future and discuss and tell us why they chose to make some of these decisions that are very questionable, right? Like, why are you trying to cripple us and slow us down? The game already doesn't have enough content as it is, and now you want us to play the game even less? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And you're trying to make it more harder by not adding new, fresh content, giving us more things and more, competitive things to do, more challenges to try and overcome, just a lot of fun stuff to build up towards. You're just taking content we already had and putting a new paint, a new coat of paint on it. I don't understand. So I am very hopeful that the new tower will not be something like this. I want it to be challenging, but I don't want it to be just completely, only the top 1%, 2% of players can even clear it. Because that'll completely exclude a lot of your players, including content creators like myself. We're not in that top 1% of spending players. We're up there. We do support the game. We play the game. We cover the game. We play the game as best we can on a daily, weekly basis. But a lot of players, they're just not going to be able to enjoy any of those new content, any of that new content. So you got to be very careful about how you go about with new updates and new content in the future, because we cannot have any more of this artificial inflated difficulty. And that's what I call it, artificial inflated difficulty, because it was not necessary. You could have made stage 11 and 12 just be difficult to clear. But if you cleared it, you could then use your skip tickets like everything else, like the prior 10 stages. There was no need to add the 3-star clear on top of it, the turn restrictions for 11 and 12, and then on top of that, something we haven't even mentioned yet, charge double. Yes, double the skip tickets for 11 and 12, just completely eating all the skip tickets that you just tried to help give us more of. So it's like you're giving us stuff and then you're taking it away. It's not right, and it's not going to work long term. And the proof is in the pudding. Arena is starting to dwindle down. There's less things going on exciting with the game. A lot less people are covering the game. A lot less people are talking about the game. The numbers are all down. The Google Trends are down. The viewership for YouTube videos are down. Everything is going down. And the reason why is because you guys and gals that are working on this game that had so much potential, you're making some bad decisions. And I hope that this video can be very helpful and enlighten some of you over there at Smile Game VA Games to really sit there and just take a deep look into the game and understand, okay, we messed up there. We probably shouldn't have done that, because it's just going to cost you guys and gals in the end. We can always move on to another game. There's always new games coming out. That's not the problem. The problem is the game had so much potential, and a lot of us enjoy this game, including myself here especially, and we want to see it do well and last long term. We want it to be, you know, a 5, 6, 7, 8 year game, kind of like your other game, Epic 7. But some of these changes need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed immediately. These weeks that you're taking off doing 0 patch notes, it is not helping the game at all. At all. You cannot afford to take these week-long breaks. You could have released anything. You could have done the gear presets and some bug fixes. You could have done some hero rebalancing and some bug fixes. You could have done anything, just small or big. Something needs to be done week to week to week to keep improving this game and get us in a better state. Okay, the game needs to be in a better state, not only physically, but mentally as well. You guys and gals over there working on the game, you need to get it together. Because right now, the game is falling apart at the seams. It is not dying yet. Keyword yet. But it is definitely on that trend. And I hope that we can get off that trend. I hope we can turn this car around and get back on the highway to success. Okay? So hopefully it'll happen. Sorry I wasted so much of your guys and gals' time. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about some of my frustrations that I've been having with the game here in the past few patch notes, and how it's just kind of all culminating into this chaotic negativity that is definitely starting to approach us on all forms of social media right now involving this game. I'm seeing it everywhere, and I kind of want to just address it and give you guys and gals my personal opinion on it, and how hopefully they can maybe make it better and improve it. And we didn't even talk about the freaking 200 stones and the 500,000 gold to give all of our characters a little bit of a bump in stats either. I'm not even going to go into that right now. Because that could probably be its own video by itself. But I'm going to leave you guys and gals with that. Sorry, this was more of a talkative video, more of a discussion-based video. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an insight of what I'm thinking and feeling on the whole situation, and how hopefully the game company, the publisher, they can get together, find a solution, improve the game ASAP. And I want to know what your guys and gals feelings are on all this in the comment section below. Have you been feeling fatigued? Have you not been wanting to play the game as much anymore? Are some of these recent changes kind of puzzling to you? Has it soured you on the game or anything of that nature? Let me know all that and more in the comment section below. I'm going to get out of here. This was a long video. I'm done talking. It's time for action. Let's go. Until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, check notifications. Join me in the Discord in the description below. And of course, follow us on Twitter at XS Media. Until next time, peace.